Yes, sirree. Here we go on a bright Tuesday morning. Yes, sir. The second day of July, second day of the second half, 2019. Good morning, my dear friends. I'm George Grant, and welcome to today's edition of Gudday Grenada. Well, we got lots of stuff going on here for you. This morning, we're going to be taking a look at an accomplishment of Grenada in the world of sports. We have topped the OECS in netball. Can you believe that? You're going to see some of the action, and yeah, I think you'll feel very proud of what you're going to learn this morning. Then we do have the national report for you, and that is going to be followed by, I guess you can call it part two of something we started yesterday. Yesterday morning we ran a piece with Claudette Joseph talking about the issue between Grenlec and the Government of Grenada. Well, Grenlec has taken on the Government of Grenada. And this morning you'll see part two of the segment which we did on Sunday morning. Interesting stuff. Really interesting stuff. Now, netball in the region has taken a giant leap towards the advancement of the sport, thanks to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank. And believe it or not, pilgrims, Grenada is on top after winning the inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Championship, which was held no less a place than St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The ECCB has put together a nice little package showcasing some of the activities which took place over the 6-day event. And I'd like to share that with you this morning.
Hi and welcome to ECCB Connects. Team Grenada has taken first hold of the Gloria Ballantyne Championship Trophy, having defeated 4 other teams in the inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Series.
The winner of the inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Series 2019 comes to us from the Spice Isle, Grenada.
The tournament, which was held at the Arnersville Sporting Complex in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, commenced on 14 June with a welcome reception and candle lighting ceremony, followed the next day by the official opening ceremony and the first set of matches.
Sports for women is an area that requires increasing emphasis, increasing support by governments and by organizations like the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank and local businesses. And we hope that this event spurs other investment in the future of young women and girls across the Eastern Caribbean. This year, the event has been upgraded to a ranked event, and it has been advanced from an under-23 event to one that does not have an age limit. I hope that this enhances the quality of the competition and the sharing of experiences from the more experienced to the less experienced players. I hope it adds to the quality of the game that we see over the next few days. I hope that all of us do our best, have some fun, and bring this region closer together.
Over the next 6 days, teams Antigua and Barbuda, Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines engaged each other in a double round-robin schedule of matches. At the end of the first round, it was clear that teams Grenada, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines were the top contenders. Before the second round of matches, the netballers came together for a development session on the theme, Charting a Course, a Financial Guide for Women. They also had the opportunity to engage in discussion with netball officials about the future of the sport in the region. The development session was a key component of the OECS ECCB Under-23 netball tournament, which the ECCB sponsored since the inception of that tournament in 1991. When the ECCB, in collaboration with the Caribbean Netball Association, took the decision to upgrade the tournament to the International Series, the bank decided to retain the development session in keeping with its thrust to use the sport of netball as a platform for regional integration and the empowerment of the region's women. As the teams took to the court for the final and deciding round of matches, the focus was on teams Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who had amassed the most points, Grenada having lost only against Team St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Team St. Vincent and the Grenadines being unbeaten.
So it's goal defense, fancy goal attack. Obstruction by the goalkeeper. She goes up in a penalty shot. She makes it good. It's 57 to Grenada, 54 to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And center pass for St. Vincent. And it's been tipped out by St. Vincent. It's going to be a throw for Grenada. All to play for in tomorrow's game. If St. Vincent come away victorious tonight, they virtually assure themselves off the championship. But Grenada still will come away. And it's still Grenada. She's called for stepping. It's St. Vincent ball. Finds her center. Center gives it to a wing attack. Wing attack to a goal attack. To a wing defense. Finds her center. And St. Vincent call for obstruction. It's a penalty pass for Grenada. Goalkeeper finds her goal defense. Finds her wing attack. And it's obstruction. It's penalty pass. Lobs it over. Kato gets it. She will go up with a shot. She makes it good. It's 58. 58. The time is coming close. Grenada. Long ball. St. Vincent intercepts. Finds her center. And there's some obstruction. And that's the whistle. Grenada will come away victorious tonight, defeating St. Vincent and the Grenadines 58 to 54. So Grenada who goes to 9 points. St. Vincent and the Grenadines on 10 points. The last game, St. Vincent and the Grenadines defeated Grenada. It was promised that Grenada would be coming very hard at St. Vincent on the second round, and you really did.
Yes, we did. And I want to say congrats to St. Vincent as well. Congrats to my girls. What we did was stuck to the plan. I want to commend them, the coaching staff, because it's not always about one person, it's a team of people. So I want to say hats off to them and to the players. It's not like we were constantly, they had to fight, dig deep, come back, and it's all of life's lessons that when you're done, you can come back home.
Well, definitely, it was a ding-dong battle. And in the end, Grenada prevailed. And I think that speaks of the resolve of the team and the work done by the coaching staff.
Yes, it is indeed. Because, we're on a journey. And we're not only on a journey for Grenada, for OECS netball. Hence the reason why we have this as an international series. So I am so pleased that it's turning out to be really competitive when you say that, because it's now St. Vincent lose a match, we lost a match, so we kind of on even keel.
Tonight I was really hoping for a win to seal the situation, but it didn't happen. We just have to go back to the drawing board later tonight and regroup and come again.
The court was then set for the history-making finale.
It's St. Lucia's ball. So it's wing defense, finds center. Center looking to find her goal shoot. Goal shoot back to center. And she's being contacted. And it's a penalty pass. So obstruction, so it's still St. Lucia with a penalty pass. Lobs it over. Contacted there by the goalkeeper. Penalty shot. She goes up. She makes it good. It's 42 to St. Lucia, 41 to St. Vincent. Center pass for St. Lucia. St. Lucia still with it. St. Lucia. St. Lucia. And there is infringement against St. Vincent. So it's St. Lucia. Still with a 1-point lead. Gives it to her a goal attack. And certainly lobs it across to a wing attack. It goes out. And St. Lucia still will come away with it. St. Lucia will hold on. St. Lucia, St. Vincent with it. And it's going to be a penalty pass for St. Vincent. Finds a wing attack. Finds a center. Center to her goal attack. Goal attack. Back to wing attack. Lobs it over. Finds Marian Frederick. She makes it good. The scores are level. And it's a center pass for St. Vincent. The crowd is alive. Center for St. Vincent. It's still St. Vincent. And she makes it good. No, it's still level. And it's bounce pass. So it's a contact there. And it's 42-42. St. Lucia goal defense with it. Finds her wing defense. Long ball, finds the goalkeeper. St. Vincent will come away. And that's the whistle. That's the whistle.
It was indeed an enormous honor for me in my capacity as president of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Netball Association, and also as a member of the local organizing committee, which was charged with the responsibility of organizing this inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Series, to welcome you all last Saturday afternoon. The time has now come for us to say goodbye. How time flies. And I am reminded of the immortal words of the great English bard William Shakespeare, that parting is such sweet sorrow. Wisdom indeed comes with age, and the passage of time has instilled me with the wise thought that nothing lasts forever. Everything must come to an end. We are, therefore, here to bring the curtains down on a tournament that I am pleased to say has come to a successful conclusion. I am quite sure that you will all agree with me when I say that the matches were indeed exciting, with players demonstrating a high standard of netball throughout the state. Permit me, therefore, to congratulate the winners of this International Netball Series, Team Grenada. Well done, girls. You played well, and you truly deserve to bask in the warm waters of victory. I know you are thrilled, and I too am indeed pleased. Congratulations are also in order for the other teams and also the individual players who have won prizes for their outstanding performances. Players, I urge you all to continue to train regularly in a bid to improve the quality of your game. It is only by a dint of hard work, determination, and a serious committed effort that you will be able to realize any incremental improvements in your standard of play. Remember that nothing good and worthwhile in this life comes easy. This is now an opportunity for the coaches and trainers to do a close evaluation of each match. Surely, many things went well, and some did not go so well. The onus is now on you to gather your troops without delay and take the necessary action to facilitate the required improvements. May I use this opportunity to again express my gratitude and profound appreciation to the Eastern Caribbean Central Bank, the sponsors of this International Netball Series, to the teams, the Caribbean Netball Association, CNA, the members of the local organizing committee, the OECS Commission, the Government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the National Olympic Committee, and the National Sports Council. Thank you all. The third place in the inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Series 2019 goes to Team St. Lucia. The second place team in the inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Series 2019 is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The winner of the inaugural OECS ECCB International Netball Series 2019 comes to us from the Spice Isle, Grenada. And Grenada is receiving the Gloria Ballantyne Championship Trophy. Give a hand as we appreciate the contribution of Gloria Ballantyne to netball and to sport in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
To view any episode of ECCB Connects anytime, any place, at your convenience, check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn at ECCB Connects.
We've come to the end of this week's episode of ECCB Connects. Thank you very much for watching, and we invite you to join us again next week when we'll be back with another program.
Alrighty, folks, there you have it. That's the, congratulations. Congratulations, Grenada. See, there's some good things happening in this country. Really good things. And I salute them. Good morning, Veronica Antivero. Good morning, Mr. Darbo. How are you, sir? I hope you saw our good friend there, Glennis Roberts. If you didn't, go on back, take a look. And Uncle Ben is here with us this morning. Hello, Benedict. Good to see you, sir. And Kepi's also saying good morning. And so is Margaret, who's actually topping the list this morning. Folks, boy, I'll tell you, it's going to be a kind of insane morning. If you find that I'm rushing this morning, it's because you may remember over the past couple of months, I've done a couple of pieces about the degradation that's taking place in our environment here. On one of those pieces, I had taken a couple of tour operators, Mandu Seals and Ian Blakey. They had taken me down to Mount Hartman to shoot some of the damage that's occurring down there. And at that time, because it was a very rainy day and we weren't able to get a lot of stuff, but we did get enough to do a little package for you, we did decide that they were going to take me on an actual tour around the island. The reason being, these two gentlemen are two of Grenada's top tour operators. and they have the displeasure of taking tourists around the island and showing a lot of the disaster, a lot of the dumping that's taking place across Grenada. So they promised they'd take me out on a tour around the island and show me that stuff. Well, this morning is it. I'm in a rush to get out of here because they're coming to get me. We're going to take a little pocket, take off on this tour, and hopefully things are going to pan out so that I can share that with you on Sunday morning, the next edition of Sundays with George Grant. So that's why I'm rushed. Now, I also want to apologize because sometime last week we had promised you that we were going turtle watching. I think it was when Sharon was on here on Wednesday. She had promised that she'd take me turtle watching on Friday night. We had to call that off. The reason? Rain, rain, rain. Remember what happened here on Friday? It was a disaster. Reese Francis is saying, good morning from Manchester, UK. How are you and my sweet island, Grenada? Kudos to you on your continuous lifelong learning. Oh, thank you very much, Reese. How did you know, girl? Every time I sit in front of this camera or turn on a microphone, it's a learning process for me. It's a learning process, and I hope I never get to the point where so many of the people have gotten to in this country. They know everything. No, I learn, and that's, you guys are my teachers, and I really appreciate that. Now, here, a few minutes ago, while you were watching that piece from the ECCB, something came in from the Integrity Commission. I have not had the chance to read the entire piece, but because of the curiosity, good morning, Jem, because of the curiosity out there, I'm going to share this with you, so I'm reading it cold. Bear with me if I make any snafus, any mistakes, okay? It's captioned, the Integrity Commission scores a victory in the Rule Edwards case. And this is dated since, can you believe this? Dated since the 28th of June. Today is the 2nd. I guess it got stuck in the internet somewhere. Anyhow, it says the High Court in St. George's, Grenada on Friday dismissed all claims brought against the Integrity Commission in the Sandiford Rule Edwards versus the Integrity Commission case. High Court Judge, His Lordship Godfrey Smith, handed down his decision, giving victory to the Commission and dismissing Mr. Edwards' claim that the Commission is not legally empowered to launch an investigation on its own volition. All right. Mr. Edwards had challenged the authority of the Commission to investigate operations of the Marketing and National Importing Board, MNIB. The Commission had announced in August 2018 that it would be investigating operations at the MNIB for the period 2012 to 2018, following media reports that alleged impropriety at the state-owned corporation had occurred. Mr. Edwards, who served as chairman of the board and later chief executive officer during the period, engaged the services of attorney-at-law Cajetan Hood to challenge the Commission's authority to undertake the investigation. In his judgment, Justice Smith said that the Commission is not only empowered under the Prevention of Corruption Act, but is given sweeping powers under the Act to investigate any public entity where there are allegations of impropriety without a complaint from a third party. He cited Section 12(2)(c) of the Act, which gives the Commission wide powers of inquiry and exercising its functions. This section provides that the Commission C shall have the power to authorize investigations, summon witnesses, require the production of any reports, documents or other relevant information, and to do all things as it considers necessary or expedient for the purpose of carrying out its function pursuant to the provisions of this Act. Mr. Edwards was represented by Cashton Hood and was joined by Gilbert Peterson, SC, from Trinidad and Tobago in the matter, while the Commission was represented by Douglas Mendez, SC, from Trinidad and Tobago, with Ruggles Ferguson from Siboney Chambers in Grenada. Okay, the release then has a couple of pictures with both Mr. Hood and Mr. Ferguson. Okay, so that's it. Now, we're flexible around here, and I'll tell you what, because of the mad rush that I am in this morning, we're going to forego, please forgive me, but we're going to forego the national report. We're not going to run the national report for you this morning. Instead, what I'm going to do is take a little break here, and then we'll come back with the segment that we started yesterday morning with Claudette Joseph, Grenlec taking on the Government of Grenada. Yeah, we'll come back with part 2 of that, and the reason being, Mr. Ray Roberts, who usually joins us on a Tuesday morning, is unable to be with us this morning. You heard the sad news this past week that Ray has lost his mom, and he's still in mourning. So I contacted him yesterday and said, you know, Ray, don't even think about coming in today. He appreciated that and said, we'll see you next Tuesday. By the way, his mom's going to be laid to rest at the Grand Dance Cemetery on Monday afternoon, 1:30. It's at the Grand Dance RC Church. Okay? Folks, let's take a little break and we'll come back with Claudette.
This summer, make your dreams a reality with a Co-op Bank Summer Sizzle Loan. Get up to $20,000 and qualify for a chance to win a staycation at Silver Sands. Go on a vacation, enjoy the carnival season, have your dream wedding, or make home improvements. Make this summer sizzle with everything you want it to be. Visit your nearest retail banking unit for more details. Special terms and conditions apply.
Welcome home.
Conveniently located in the Grand Dance Shopping Center, for over 40 years, Food Fair has provided quality service at affordable prices. Now, grocery shopping is made easier and more convenient from the Food Fair web store.
Hey, babe. Listen, I need you to go down to Food Fair to get some groceries.
All right, no problem. Right away.
Thanks, babe. What are you doing? You're supposed to be going Food Fair to get a grocery, man.
I am, but didn't you know you can order your groceries online from the Food Fair web store?
Are you serious?
Of course. All you have to do is just to log on to www.foodfair.gd with credit card in hand, and with an order of $100 or more, Food Fair Grenadans will deliver up to 3 miles away. And you don't even have to worry about your information, you know. Their safety measures are excellent.
So hold on. You just order online and Food Fair will deliver to you?
Yep.
Oh, baby, better hurry up and order, man.
I already did. They should be here any minute now.
Enjoy easy online shopping anytime from your home or office from the Food Fair web store. Food Fair, where you can fill your baskets without emptying your pockets.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try their sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Alrighty, yesterday we had a very attentive audience for a rebroadcast of a session which we had on Sunday morning regarding the battle between the Grenada Electricity Services and the Government of Grenada. Well, you're in luck today. Thanks to the absence of Ray Roberts, who is mourning the loss of his mom, today I will bring you the remainder of that segment with Claudette Joseph. Pilgrims, as you're about to see, another eye-opener.
Now, part of the issue that Mr. Boyne has with Grenlec is that when the new shareholders came in, he was manager, and from the war report we know he was not a good manager. And so he did not last long under the new management. And there is some ongoing friction, some ongoing tension, a lot of acrimony between him and the guys who bought the shares. That's Mr. Nigel Waddell and Bob Blanchard and these guys. Because, of course, his style of management is not commensurate with the Grenlec we know today. And what they wanted to bring to Grenada is a Grenlec we know today, where you could have most of your appliances and so in your house running on electricity because you're not afraid that the current is going to go every minute or that they're going to burn your equipment. Right? You're talking about a high efficiency. There's no doubt about that. Right? You're talking about a company where shareholders actually get returns on the investment in the form of dividends. So I don't understand why these people insist on attacking an investor that has proven its worth to the nation of Grenada. Right? When you look at the ease of doing business ranking, we keep falling, but one of the areas that we always score high in is electricity supply. Always, because you know, those people who are familiar with the ease of doing business ranking thing, it's a series of benchmarks each country is tested on, and we keep declining. We're not doing well on that at all. We only beaten Haiti in the Caribbean. And electricity, we score very high consistently.
All right, Claudette, I'll tell you what. We still have just a little under half an hour to go, okay? However, I need to take a break. Before I do, however, there have been a number of comments here, and I want to share some of them with you.
Sure.
Jorge says, under Mr. Bowen's management, the company was not only non-profitable, but also extremely inefficient as far as the supply of energy was concerned, causing untold inconvenience and financial losses to the country as a whole for a long period of time. Vincent Ignatius Roberts says, Central Garage is closed down and was a totally separate and distinct entity from the police garage, which has always been in existence. First behind the fire station, and later on Dusty Highway.
All right, good. Thanks for that.
Okay. Louise Nyack Francois, this comment here really hit me because I think it's on the money. Louise says, Claudette, you are so transparent with information giving. I appreciate your openness. My observation is this. We have a civil society organization. I'm a part of this. Honestly, members need to be more active on issues that are pertinent to good governance in our society.
I totally agree.
I told you, right on the money.
Totally agree.
Civil society organization needs to regroup and engage themselves on good governance issues. Members only turn up to meetings when it is an issue that affects their jobs or pocket. We need people to be aware of the role of civil society. Girl, that hit me right on the forehead.
Yeah, and that's symptomatic of the whole country. People are only interested when it affects them personally. And not enough people are seeing the big picture in terms of how the actions of government can adversely affect all of us. I don't own shares in Grenlec. If I own the shares in Grenlec, I will be mobilizing the local shareholders to form ourselves into a group to speak with one voice. Because, I mean, this is craziness. This is what the government is doing is craziness. And I will go into some of the share purchase agreement and what's caused the suits.
Yeah, stuff that civil society should be doing. I mean, they have really let this country down.
Yeah, and you know, sometimes I say, George, there are times when I feel kind of sorry that I'm part of the NDC, because I don't want, when I speak on these matters, I don't really want people to see it as being political or pushing a specific agenda. I'm speaking the truth, the honest truth, as I did when we had the whole constitution reform issues. On these matters of the oil and gas and Grenlec and so on, I've done the work, and this is what I've discovered. And it has nothing to do with my political affiliation. And this is where civil society and the chamber and other non-political entities need to speak up.
And it's not just civil society, it's the churches, like you say, it's the chamber.
It's ridiculous.
That's why, you know, when you mentioned the word hex this morning, it really, really hit home, because it seems like this thing is endemic all over the country. Okay, now, Ernesto says, Claudette, every time we heard the name mismanagement, the word mismanagement of funds, Gregory Bowen's name comes up.
Thank you.
And he's still holding a government position.
Thank you.
Are we under some spell we don't know about?
Why do people of the Southeast keep voting him? No. Remember Dipcon Engineering?
Yeah.
And that big 20 how much $1 million judgment we ended, that was Gregory Bowen. Jack Greinberg and RSM Corporation, that was Gregory Bowen. GPG and Oil and Gas, that was Gregory Bowen. Now Grenlec, that is Gregory Bowen. And I'm sure I'm missing a couple.
Yvonne Joseph. Is Yvonne your sister?
No.
Okay. Yvonne says, Claudette, these two men in Grenada's parliament have a curse. They believe that Grenada is theirs to do what they want. Antiarello says, Claudette, thank you.
You're welcome.
I truly hope the nation is listening and paying attention. This crookedness has been going on for too long. Irvin Samuel says it was possibly the same game like the attempted playout with the Rex Grenadian Hotel. Pay for play deals. Kipling Francis says, Claudette, you speak so simple and understandable that many of the you-know-who would say you're lying. They cannot handle the plain truth.
They could say they could say it all how they want. I'm willing to share the documents with them, if, you know, and I've offered Mr. Scott to come on his program, but I don't know, I haven't gotten the invitation yet. I would gladly go there and explain these things. I remember when the whole issue of the pension was taking place, and I was explaining, we were having a conversation on social media, and I was explaining what the law is and how wrong the government is on the whole pension thing. And I said, look, I could come, you could bring your Attorney General with you, and we can both sit there and we'll tell the nation what the truth is and what the law really is. Thankfully, I heard the Prime Minister is now conceding at the last General Council he had. I heard him saying, well, you know, the people have to get their money. Like he's conceding that the public workers are entitled to their pension, although he's still saying we're going to hold off on the gratuity. Well, I have news for him. You can't hold off on the gratuity. If you've conceded that they're entitled to their pension, the Constitution defines pension as including gratuity, and the relevant law, the law in force, which is the 1958 Act rather, that law specifies that the amount of gratuity to be paid is 25%. So you're not getting around that.
All right. Claudette, I'll tell you what. Let me go try and pay some bills here. We'll come back.
It's good to be early. good to be early. Pay your Grenlec bill on time.
With free island-wide delivery, Hubbard's Building Supplies and Lumber Departments continue to provide the best quality lumber, steel, tiles, plumbing materials, electrical and general hardware supplies at competitive prices. We continually consult with builders, homeowners and contractors to improve product range and services. Enjoy discounts where applicable, including the use of credit and debit cards. At Hubbard's Building Supplies, Grandance and Lumber Department, Caranage, we offer quality service, affordable prices, giving you the convenient, reliable, free island-wide delivery. Call 440-2087 for all your home improvement and building solutions.
Juve chocolates, cocoa nibs, and cocoa balls from Diamond Estate Grenada are now available at Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, and GrenadaMarket.com. Try the sensational touch of nutmeg and a touch of ginger chocolates, 75% dark and rich, 100% pure cocoa, and their 60% dark and sweet chocolate bars today. Amazon Prime members enjoy free shipping on these orders in the USA, Canada, and Europe. GrenadaMarket.com. When you can't come to the island, the products of the island will come to you.
Alrighty, folks, we are back with my guest, Claudette Joseph. On the website, you saw me describe her as a public advocate. And the reason why I did that is because, like she was suggesting earlier on, you know, the stuff that she is bringing out does not need to be politicized. You know, so hence the reason I did not say NDC Public Relations Unit, okay? Even on my my WhatsApp forum some time ago, I've been publishing all of her NDC heartbeats, but I don't want this thing to appear political. So I described it as an opinion piece for which I was taken to task.
Oh, really?
So be it.
Okay.
So be it.
So the heartbeat can be an opinion piece?
It's an opinion piece.
Well, yes, it is. That's what
It is an opinion piece. It's your party's opinion. All right.
Thank you.
First of all, Claudette, Ernesto Jose wants to know if you can post the World Report so that they can all read it.
I'll have to. It would take some doing, but I could try to do that.
If you
scan it, I'll have to scan it here.
Yeah, I will gladly post it for you. Okay. Somebody named Betty Ann Court says, Claudette, I am absorbing all that you're sharing. Okay.
Okay.
Anthea Rollo says, Claudette, we appreciate you. You are serving your country by educating us on things we should know. I heard about that report years ago, but never had the opportunity to read it or truly understand what it was about. You did not come on this program campaigning for NDC. You are here as a concerned citizen.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very
Anthea.
much. Yeah.
Mary Campbell says, George and Claudette, this sleep and shut up is no surprise, even in New York. When you speak about having and receiving a financial report on Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique Day 2017 and 2018, you have few voices, and the imposter promoters tried to turn the table on you. In Grenada, no surprise with the silence. Press on, results will come. And Betty Ann says, thanks Claudette thanks Claudette and appreciate it. Now, my dear, we have about 10 minutes left.
Right. I just want to brief people a little bit on the cases that are before the courts, both ICSID and our local courts. In relation to our local courts, what the government did, if people remember in 2018, June 2018 campaign, there was a lot of talk about we taking back Grenlec, that kind of thing, on the NNP side. And in 2015, they circulated the draft electricity supply bill. they were going to repeal, well, they have repealed the 1994 Act, which they brought into force in 1998, as I explained, and replaced it with a new bit of legislation. Now, the 1994 Act had incorporated in it the agreement that was signed between WRB and GPP. Those are the two companies that purchased 50% of the shares in Grenlec. All right? And GPP means Grenada Private Power Limited. And those companies are owned by the same guy, the guys who own the 50% shares. So the agreement in 1994 was between WRB, GPP, and Government of Grenada. That agreement was incorporated in the 1994 Act so that it forms part of the Act. The government sought to, in 2016, repeal the 1994 Act and bring a new Act into force. Now, what they're saying is that they want to liberalize the market some more. Under the 1994 Act, Grenlec practically has a monopoly on the supply of electricity. They want to liberalize it, and they want to introduce new modes of energy generation. Right? They have solar, whatnot. Now, I know that under the Tillman Thomas administration, the government was working with Grenlec to diversify our sources of power. There was an agreement in relation to wind farm, I think in Petit Martinique. I think that agreement was signed already. There was a lot of discussion on the introduction of geothermal energy, and there was an arrangement in the River Antoine area for energy generated by wind. So it was not as though that wasn't happening under the current construct. Now, objectively, there's nothing wrong with wanting to improve what you have, with wanting to enhance, and even with wanting to open the market. But the agreement that was signed back in 1994 stipulates how you are to proceed, how the government is to proceed, how WRB and GPG are to proceed if there are to be any amendments to the agreement, any changes in the law, right? They must consult with each other, they must agree. Government did not do that. They went about in a most high-handed manner, on their own, unilaterally, and changed the agreement. Now, the problem they have is that I have the share purchase agreement here. That's the one that was signed in 1994. Article 7, right, stipulates a number of conditions under which, if any of these conditions occur, government will have to buy back the 50% of the shares. Right? And one of the conditions is it says any repudiation, which is breaking the agreement, rejection, annulment, cancellation, or termination by the government or any state entity of this agreement. So if you do anything that would amongst to a breaking the agreement, that would trigger a repurchase of the shares. Passing the Electricity Supply Act 2016 without Grenlec's input and containing provisions in that law that would be adverse to Grenlec's interests constituted such a breach. So when that happened, Grenlec gave them notice. The agreement says if a repurchase occurrence happens, then, and Grenlec gives the Government of Grenada notice, government has 30 days to buy back the shares. The agreement also sets up a formula to calculate the value of the shares at the time of the repurchase. So Grenlec did their calculations based on the formula in the agreement and came up with 169, let's round it off to $170 million. That's what the value of 50% of the shares is today. And they gave government notice, you have breached the agreement, we need you to buy back the shares as the agreement provides. And of course, government did not buy it back. And so that took them to the dispute, the arbitration proceedings before ICSID in Washington, because that's what the agreement provides for. Any disputes are to be settled by arbitration before ICSID. And based on what I have seen, I think the government would have a very, very hard case to make, because it seems to me that they did breach the agreement. They did cause a repurchase condition to occur, right? And when given notice, they did not repurchase. So let's see what ICSID says. But that's my assessment, putting on my legal cap now.
All right. Jorge says, do not forget the millions of taxpayer dollars paid to defend the minister.
Yeah.
Claude Pudna says, Claudette, every time I hear Boeing, B-O-W-I-N-G. Claude. He says, I smell corruption. Trust me. Kipling says, if only Grenadians were as concerned about the welfare of the country as they are about jab, rum, and wine. People like you, Claudette, Nazim, Franca, and others alike, who put the country first, surely would have put meaning to pure Grenada. So says Kipling. Ernesto says, we need more Gigi and Claudette to educate our people, and why every time someone enlighten Grenadians, someone will try to make it political. Why can't we deal with the truth? My friend, you got 4 minutes. We're going to pull the curtain down. These people want to go and eat meat.
Yes. And just briefly, the local matter, basically, what happened now, part of the agreement at the time was that Grenlec would contribute 5% of its profits to community development. And that was a voluntary thing. It was a mutually agreed position. Program. The new Electricity Supply Act inserts a section that mandates, so it's not up to them now to agree, it mandates that Grenlec must pay 5% of its pre-tax profits, that's section 20, to a committee largely appointed by the minister and under the control of the minister. They said, Gregory Bowen, to do with as they please. And naturally, Grenlec has taken issue with this because it's like compulsorily taking the property of the company, which is the money, and putting it into the hands of a third party to do with as they please. And of course, Section 6 of our Constitution says you can't compulsorily acquire property of a citizen without prompt compensation. And in law, a company is as a person, has the same rights and so as an individual. So I think they have a very strong case in relation to the Section 20 and the constitutional aspect of it. I think they have a strong case. The matter that was resolved in Grenlec's favor by the court recently was just one aspect of the case where they were asking the court to stay the local proceedings pending the outcome of the Washington proceedings, and the court did not agree. So the court said, no, we're going ahead. It's two different issues arising out of the same set of facts, but they are totally different legal issues. So there's no reason to stay one until the other is resolved. So government lost that round. I don't think they would succeed in either court.
Bob Marichaux says, I'm in this business of utility for 30 plus years. That is power generation, transmission, pricing, and metering. From a technical standpoint, Mr. Bowen is very knowledgeable based on my few interactions with him. I do not know about his management style at Grenlec, and the little which I know is purely anecdotal, and in some cases is not very complimentary. I will advise the government to work with them. They are doing a good job. Pricing a utility like Grenlec is not an easy task. Kalinago Noir says, Dr. Raphael Fletcher already properly characterized Gregory Bowen. Remember?
Educate me. I don't know what Dr. Fletcher said.
I don't either, Kalinago. You know, sometimes people post stuff. They know what they're posting, and they figure that everybody else understands what they're talking
But
about.
you know, George, one of the things I find particularly reckless about the government and how they have dealt with this thing is that Mr. Bowen has a particular history with the shareholders in Grenlec. That's the WRB people. Because when he parted ways with the company, it was not nice. There's some lingering acrimony there. And I find it particularly reckless for the government to be putting Mr. Bowen at the front of any policy that they have, notwithstanding he's the Minister of Works. Because of the history, to me, the proper thing to have done would be to say, look, you are too personally invested in this thing, you do not have a good relationship or history with the people, let us put somebody else. Let us negotiate the changes we want to the agreement. Let us, you know, it is 2019 now, things have changed. They may also want to change certain things in the agreement because times have moved on. But you don't go in a high-handed manner, in a most aggressive manner, and breach the agreement, just as you did with Dipcon and like you in learn, you know, and Grindberg, and so you didn't learn.
Claudette, we got to go, but let me tell you something. Thanks. But
You're welcome.
You don't have to teach me about Bowen. I have the scars on my back.
Oh, yeah.
All the things that man has done to me.
Oh dear.
Okay? I could write a book. I have, for the time being, maintained my silence.
Okay.
But
that's why they get away with it.
well, yeah,
people remain
yeah,
silent.
yeah. But hold on. The scriptures say nothing will remain hidden.
True.
Nothing, Claudette. And it's the only thing I have to hang on to, the Word of God. That's all I have.
But you know the Word of God also says faith without action or good works is dead.
Absolutely.
So I want us to pray for our country and to include the spiritual aspects of it. But I want all of us to act. We can't just keep sitting by and letting this level of mismanagement and recklessness. What do we have at the end of the day? We wouldn't have a country.
Yeah. You know, it's ironic you should say that because the scripture I'm going to read today, it's probably one of the shortest I have ever read at the end of this program. I'm going to read it now. It's from Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, which says, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for, and assurance about the things that we do not see."
Yes.
So let us keep being faithful.
Indeed.
Let's keep being faithful. And you know, girl, I really honestly believe that there's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Well, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
Because a tunnel is not infinite, right? Yeah. So there's always a light.
Okay, let me try and sneak two more here very quickly, and then we got to bail. Betty Ann Court says, "Thanks, Mr. George and Miss Claudette, for your service. That is enlightening, and you could both have spent it in other ways, just like us. But it takes a certain and different type of people to see our wondrous island at its best." Yeah. Anthony Howard says, "While I'm skeptical as to what's driving the current government's attack on Grenlec, I am equally appalled over the approach taken by Grenada as a small economy, that utility companies should be in the hands of private entities, and the need for competition, multiple providers competing in our small economy. To date, with the advent of wind turbine and other forms of renewable energy, we have not seen significant transition by Grenlec to embrace these new opportunities." I thought Grenlec was into the solar thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
into it, yeah.
We felt the need to go after Cable and Wireless as the only provider of telecom service on the island. Today we have multiple providers, and to me, the public is paying more.
Mr. Howard, another thing I want to say on that is that The Electricity Supply Act was passed since 2016, and one of the things that was promised was diversification and a reduction in the cost of electricity. We haven't seen that yet.
Yeah.
The law is there. It's on the books now.
He says we're paying more because the masses are walking around with multiple cell phones, and the profits generated from those operations are leaving the island monthly.
True.
Anthony also says here, if the issue associated with these companies has to do with management and we are unable to find good management on the island, why not provide contract with outside managers? I think we are doing Grenada a disservice by bringing in foreign entities to manage critical operations on the island, and the profits from operations are leaving the island monthly.
But Mr. Howard, Anthony, 50% of the profits of Grenlec stays in Grenada. 50%, half, because we the people still own half of Grenlec.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to defend Grenlec. I don't hold no brief or anything. But as far as I know, all of the senior management of Grenlec are local.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Cover is from Jamaica. That's the general manager.
Yeah.
But everybody else is local.
Yeah.
And they have been doing a wonderful job. It's one of the better run companies in Grenada. That's without a doubt.
Betty Ann Court says, much blessings to all and have a pleasant afternoon. And Ernesto says, nice way to end the program. Have a blessed week. Alrighty, folks. That was the second and final part of that series, which we began yesterday morning with Claudette Joseph. My dear friends, that's a very troubling situation for this country, and I urge you to keep an eye on it. Actually, you don't have a choice. We're going to be keeping an eye on it, and everything we find out is going to be passed on to you. As soon as we hear from ICSID, you'll be the first to know. Sean, good morning. Jackie, good morning. Arthur Langine, good morning. Jude Joseph, Anthiarello, Raphael Paul, Peter Bishop, Yvonne Joseph, Mandu, give me a few minutes, sir. Give me a few minutes, because I know I have to get this stuff up on YouTube. And the reason for the rush this morning, Mandu and Ian Blakey are going to be taking me around the island today to shoot some of that disturbing stuff about the degradation to Grenada's environment, which is occurring here, okay? So look out for that on Sunday. Parting word from the Holy Scriptures. Luke chapter 9, verses 23 to 27. Then Jesus said to them all, whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will save it. What good is it for someone to gain the whole world and yet lose or forfeit their very self? Whoever is ashamed of me and my words, the Son of Man will be ashamed of them when he comes in his glory and in the glory of the Father and the holy angels. Truly, I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the kingdom of God. That's from Luke chapter 9, verses 23 to 27. On that note, my dear friends, Georgie Porgy's going to hightail it out of here. Boy, am I looking forward to getting out of the studio today and running around this little island of ours. Can't tell you the last time I've done that. God bless you. See you tomorrow morning at 9.